Thank you.
Heartaches on long breaks, I learn from my mistakes. Hope you do too. Heart turns and slow burns, the wounded heart still learns. Hope you do too. I'm gonna learn me my lesson and move on. I'm gonna keep on loving till the love is gone. 'Cause I can see that something's weak and somehow strong, and I do it all alone. Did you steal traps and throwbacks? I try to trace my tracks. Hope you do too. Long range and short change, I find everything strange. Hope you do too. I'm gonna learn me my lesson and move on. I'm gonna keep on loving till the love is gone. 'Cause I can see that something's weak and somehow strong, and I do it all alone. Did you? High hopes and short ropes, I try to change my scope. Hope you do too. Strong nights and fist fights, I'm down by the bright lights. Hope you are too. I'm gonna learn me my lesson and move on. I wanna keep on loving till the love is gone. I'm gonna learn me my lesson and move on. I'm gonna keep on loving till the love is gone. I'm gonna learn me my lesson and move on. I'm gonna keep on loving till the love is gone. 'Cause I can see that something's weak and somehow strong, and I do it all alone. Did you? Did you? Did you?
Hi, I'm Jimmy with Professional Home Staging and Design, and for over 15 years we've been helping real estate agents, homeowners, and investors make more money selling homes in the Raleigh area. For a minimum investment, you get a maximum return with home staging. It's proven that homes sell in quicker time and for more money. So again, we are Professional Home Staging and Design, professionalhomestaging.com.
Hello, TREIA family. My name is James Clark Jr. I became a TREIA member 3 months ago. I joined TREIA to build relationships with like-minded individuals, learn about real estate investing, and become a successful and savvy real estate investor. I started an LLC with my father in 2012. Shortly after, my grandfather deeded us his house, and we bought a fourplex and renovated that. I specifically am ready to scale in buy, renovate, refinance, and repeat strategy known as BIRD in multifamily properties. I've been an air traffic controller for 15 years, which I spent in California, enjoying San Francisco 49er games and some of the most beautiful sunsets you'll ever see. My favorite quote is "Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing" by Warren Buffett. And my favorite books are Cash Flow Quadrant and Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm looking for a joint venture with a savvy and experienced investor. BIRD strategies with multifamily, if that's possible. I think that's the best way to learn on the job training. It's what I've done most of my career, and I know I can learn and grow from that. Things I like most about TREIA are the consistency with education, with opportunity, and with networking. I've met so many great people. I've had so much fun learning about real estate investing in the videos, and the opportunities are balanced if you check the Facebook TREIA page out with wholesale or any kind of investing strategies that you're looking at. If you would like my contact information, again, I'm James Clark Jr. You can reach me at 910-354-5881. Again, 910-354-5881.
Kathy, can you turn it up? It sounds pretty low.
Sure.
Heartaches on long breaks, I learn from my mistakes. Hope you do too. Heart turns and slow burns, the wounded heart still learns. Hope you do too. Learn me my lesson, never run. I'm gonna keep on loving till the love is gone. 'Cause I can see that something's weak and somehow strong, and I do it all alone. Did you steal traps and throwbacks? I try to trace my tracks. Hope you do too. Long range and short change. Heartaches on long breaks, I learn from my mistakes. Hope you do too. Heart turns and slow burns, the wounded heart still learns. Hope you do too. I'm gonna learn me my lesson, never run. I'm gonna keep on loving till the love is gone. 'Cause I can see that something's weak and somehow strong, and I do it all alone. Did you steal traps and throwbacks? I try to trace my tracks. Hope you do too. Long range and short change, I find everything strange. Hope you do too. I'm gonna learn me my lesson, never run. I'm gonna keep on loving till the love is gone. 'Cause I can see that something's weak and somehow strong, and I do it all alone. Did you high hopes and short ropes? I try to change my scope. Hope you do too. Strong nights and fist fights, I'm down by the bright lights. Hope you are too. I'm gonna learn me my lesson and move on. I wanna keep on loving till the loving's gone. I'm gonna learn me my lesson and move on. I'm gonna keep on loving till the loving's gone. I'm gonna learn me my lesson and move on. I'm gonna keep on loving till the loving's gone. 'Cause I can see that something's weak and some.
Hi, I'm Jimmy with
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We have a great meeting for you tonight, but first, a couple announcements. As you saw in watching our announcements there, as a reminder, we're getting ready to start a new PREP class. What does PREP stand for? Practical Real Estate Rehab Program. That is where the class actually buys a house, fixes it up, and sells it. We just completed our first one, and we had 13 students. They bought a house, sold it, had it sold at 2 days after listing it, as a matter of fact, and made a profit of about $58,000. So now that that one's done, we do have a list for the next one. If you want to be on that list, drop a note in the chat or email us at TREIAprojects@gmail.com. Remember that we're doing our networking as best we can here. As a matter of fact, if you have a who's got what that you'd like to do tonight, if you're looking for something, or if you have a property to offer, we'll let you do it real quick if you'll drop us a chat right after the announcements. But otherwise, our networking is going on our Facebook page, our Facebook group. We do have a Facebook page and a group. Join the group, Triangle Real Estate Investors Association networking group. There's tons of networking going on there, deals back and forth every single day. Another good way you can network is to make a member spotlight video like the one you just saw and introduce yourself to the members. Keep your cameras on during all the meetings so we get to know your faces, because you know, if you come to all these meetings and you join and you're trying to get involved and take advantage of your membership, we get back to live meetings, we still won't know you if you don't have your face on the camera. So we really encourage you to turn your camera on, get involved, send us your suggestions, tell us speakers you'd like to hear or things you would like to see or programs you would like us to bring you. Any suggestion is welcome. You can drop them in the chat there, or you can email them to us at TREIAprojects@gmail.com. And remember that Facebook networking page, who's got what. And if you have any other suggestions of how we can network in this wonderful time of COVID when we're not able to get together, we would sure love to hear them. Right now, we have in the meeting, besides myself, other board members in the meeting are Leslie Ortiz and Jackie Richards, who just got dropped, but she's working her way back in.
She's coming back.
But right now, Leslie's going to tell you what we have coming up for you the rest of this week.
Yeah. Well, super duper meeting tonight. As you all know, you've signed up for it and you're here. So put on your earbuds and pay close attention to Miss Ebony, because she's got some really good information to give you. Tomorrow night is number 3 of our Real Estate 360, which, as you recall, is the last Tuesday of the month. And tomorrow night, we've got a gentleman by the name of Mr. Bob Diamond, and his specialty is overages. You don't know what that is, because I don't, and I'm not about to explain it to you, because I plan to be on the meeting tomorrow night to find out what it is. It's just another tool for your tool belt, something you can use as an exit strategy, or if there's another way to do a deal, or there's other ways to moneyfy a deal, then overages might be it. So you want to tune in tomorrow night. It's at 6:30. But get on early, and Mr. Bob Diamond is going to be doing that for us. And then, of course, we've got our usual Wire Women in Real Estate meeting on Thursday. It's the one of 2 midday meetings that we have. It's at 12:30 on Thursday. And, of course, we're all very much missing the absolutely fabulous buffet of the Prestonwood Country Club. But hopefully, maybe next month, we'll get back to that. And you'll be joining Audrey as she presents the grand finale of the pilot project. If y'all want to see how it ended, how the deal went down, the financing, what they learned, and
The before and after photos.
Before and after photos, you will see everything about the pilot project on Thursday. That is going to tell you how well they did in this project, and we are signing up for the next one. So everybody, 12:30. That's it for this week.
Jackie, you got anything for us?
Just scanning the list, just wanted to do a shout out to 2 new members that are on tonight. Joe Buffia. Hello, Joe. Thank you.
Hey, Joe.
And Jeremiah Fennell.
Hey, Jeremiah.
Can't see you, but I can see your name. Welcome to all of our new members. If I missed somebody, just please send a note in the chat. We'd love to welcome you. We're glad to have you. And welcome to the TREIA family. Can't wait to hear what Ebony has to say tonight. So I'm going to shut up.
Yeah.
Let you get on
All
with
right,
the show.
nobody has sent us who's got what. So just a reminder that if you are looking for something that one of our vendors offers, painting or contracting or loans, be sure to check out the vendor section on our website and use the vendor members. They love to do business with TREIA members, and they usually offer you some kind of deal. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Roxana. Did we lose her? Roxana. Oh, she's disappeared. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm sure she'll be back. People seem to be having connection problems tonight. Roxana has been here. She has a great speaker lined up for you tonight. Ebony, we're going to have to let you tell us a little about yourself. Do you mind? I see she's got wine, so she's doing all right off the bat.
No, it's the only thing I have that has bubbles in it. I've been keeping my granddaughter, and all of a sudden she was congested, and so now I have like a congested sore throat. It's not COVID, y'all, and y'all can't catch it through Zoom, so no need to worry. But like I have 3 different drinks right here so that hopefully I don't get choked up.
I have a lot of drinks too, Ebony, so we'll get
Roxana is back.
Okay.
Okay, unmute yourself there, Roxana.
Finally, oh my God.
There she is.
Hello, you guys. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us tonight. You guys are in for a treat. Tonight we have Miss Ebony Blount on, and she is better known for deed. And you heard that correct, and that is like deed, like registered deeds. The girls know everything there is to know about real estate. Where it comes to REOs, foreclosures, she's very good even for nonprofits. So we for sure have her in again. She even very knowledgeable about scope of work, you name it. She done did it and got over 10 years of experience. With no due respect, she's on the line now, and she's gonna give you guys a better introduction even for herself. She have a lot of knowledge, and we don't want to take up too much time talking about it. If you guys got any questions, do not hold back. This is why we are inviting these individuals in, because we know during this time where you might feel that it's uncertainty on how to do these investments for and buying bank-owned properties and foreclosures in that nature, you are able to get your questions answered, and you get an answer here today for free. So get up right now, shake a little bit, 1 or 2, and let's get this ball rocking and rolling, because we're about to join this party. Thank you so much, Ebony, for coming in with us tonight.
No problem at all. So I'll just start with a quick introductory about myself. I went to school in 2007. I went to Fonville Morrissey Real Estate School. The crash happened in 2008. I became licensed in 2009. So I had nothing but time on my hands. I was a new luxury agent at Fonville Morrissey, Briar Creek. So if you guys are from the Raleigh area, you know how big of a deal they are. So, you know, as a new agent, you know, nobody was going to give me their $500,000 home to sell. So I did nothing but study. So one of the first certifications that I got was certified short sale foreclosure resource. You can still find me as one of those certified short sale foreclosure short sale resources on their website today. I earned a couple more designations: workforce housing specialist, certified investor agent specialist, distressed property expert. I'm a certified ResNet REO broker. I'm a REO Mac member. So everything distressed properties is basically my forte. So my firm, Property Wealth USA, which we started in 2016, and we are just in the process of like doing business under my company. I've been working as a sole proprietor under my social security number as Ebony Blount and getting 1099. So if you guys are realtors up here, you know how that process works. But anyway, as far as the distressed property market, my firm actually specializes in REOs and investor acquisitions. So 11 years now of studying this type of market, working in this type of market, I definitely have some awesome things to share with you guys. And I'm really here to demystify distressed properties. So foreclosures, short sales, REOs, and auctions, these are 4 investment types that any new investor, mid-range investor, or complete expert should be taken advantage of. So I heard that there was someone watching the chat. So I just want you guys to let me know in the chat what's some of the things that has stopped you from investing in this property type: foreclosure, short sale, REO, and auction. And if somebody can let me know what type of answers we're getting. And
You got it. Y'all put your answers to that question in the chat to host. Oh boy, here's a good one. Ebony, this is a starter. What is REI? REO.
REO. Awesome, awesome. And that's a simple one. REO is real estate owned. So when you hear people say bank owned, or if the home has foreclosed and now the bank has taken title to the property, what happens is that home now becomes a line item on the bank's asset books. So it's not just real estate owned, which means real estate owned by the bank. It's actually a line item. So that just goes to show you the level of emotion that's involved for the seller. It's not someone's dream home that they spent 20 years paying double for. It's not one of those cases. It's simply a line item on that bank's books now. It's a line
All right,
item.
so hopefully that answered it for you, Kiana Eaglin. We have Paige Alford some answers to your question now. Ebony. Paige Alford says, short sales seem like they take forever. Joe Buffia says, not knowing what price to offer on a short sale. Harshray Patel asked for your email address, your web address. Helen Feeney says, we don't know the process. And Harshaday says, is bank does eviction also? I think he means if there's someone living in it and it's bank owned, do they evict them or do you have to?
Awesome, awesome. Now remember, once it becomes bank owned, the bank owns it. So they are going to have me do the eviction. So when you get ready to bid on this property type, no, you don't have to do the eviction. And all of these questions are awesome because these are the same questions that I had when I got into this business. And Roxana, if you wouldn't mind putting my Property Wealth USA email in the chat. Our website is under construction. The guy was supposed to have it at least up to the point tonight where you guys could do a contact form, but it's not actually ready. So if you guys email me, I have some printouts. I'm gonna share my screen here in just a second, but I'll send you guys, and these are from a real life course. This is not just, you know, stuff that I put together. People pay me for consultations on this, but you know, because I have so much respect for TREIA, and this is my second time speaking. I love Miss Roxana and what she's doing in the real estate community. So I'm gonna send it to you guys for absolute free. So that was one of my challenges when I got into the foreclosure market. I didn't have enough knowledge. So let's go back a little bit because I would have been coming in as a broker. So like I said, once I got licensed, it was right after the crash and I had a lot of time on my hands. So I started studying different brokers in the market and what niches they were in. So coming from a luxury firm, there was a lady, and if you guys are in Raleigh, you know her. Her name is Bonita Ford. She's one of the top REO agents in Raleigh. If you don't know her, I encourage you to get on LinkedIn and look up Bonita Ford of Fonville Morse Realty. That's Beneta, and last name Ford, Ford. So I started watching this lady, and I was taking my certifications and I was learning about the foreclosure process and the short sale process, because remember, after the crash, homes were not selling. People couldn't pay their mortgage because of job loss and things like that. So because of the home sitting on the market, short sale just became one of the #1 transaction types. But in regards to the foreclosures, I started watching this lady, Bonita Ford, and one thing that stood out about her, one, she's ultimately fabulous. I don't even know how old she is. They say black don't crack, but she is white, and I can tell you, like, I don't know how old that lady is. All I know is she is killing it. But every sales meeting, she would have the highest amount of listings sold, and she would have the highest sold volume throughout the firm. So Farmville Morrissey is pretty big. They were partnered with Long and Foster by the time I came along. So, I mean, we're talking about hundreds of agents that she would beat out every quarterly sales meeting and things like that. So what I found out about Miss Ford as I started looking deeper into her was that she was actually an REO broker. And so that is what kind of put me on the path to learning about the distressed market, just seeing what she was doing in the market and actually seeing the opportunity there. But like a lot of you guys, I didn't have a lot of knowledge on how to enter the industry. When I got my certification, what I learned was the foreclosure timeline. I learned what needed to go in a short sale package. I learned how to work with banks in regards to REOs. I learned about the auction process, but I didn't have that hands-on experience. So fast forward, I began to get home sellers who actually needed to do a short sale. And so that's kind of how I really got my break into the foreclosure and short sale market. It was actually by doing hands-on transactions. So with that being said, let me see if I can share my screen, and I will start with foreclosure. The reason why I start with foreclosure, because when you look at the hierarchy of distressed properties, it starts with the foreclosure or the potential threat of foreclosure. So if it actually forecloses and the bank takes title again, then it becomes a REO. If it's facing foreclosure and the homeowner is taking all the precautions that they have available to them, then they will attempt to do a short sale, right? So from foreclosure, we go to REO. If the homeowner can't get it done and the bank forecloses and takes title, it becomes a REO. If the homeowner has time in the foreclosure process, they can work with the broker or they can work with an investor and they can do a short sale. Auction is the last one, and auction normally happens when the house just will not sell. Like I've had REOs that have had over $150,000 in damages, and in very good neighborhoods, and the resale value was there. We just could not get the offer that we needed to satisfy everything that was going against the house as far as with the bank. So when that happens, that's when it becomes an auction. And auction is literally, it's kind of like the lowest thing on the totem pole. And me personally, I don't encourage people to go after auction properties unless you have so much knowledge on that area. I mean, like it's your hometown or whatever would give you that competitive advantage to know more about what's going on with the property than other potential investors. Because once it becomes an auction, you have to understand every investor and their mother and grandmother now have access to that property as an auction, right? So when it's a foreclosure, that's when few people know about it and few people know how to navigate that process. So I actually want to start with the foreclosure timeline. And this was not something I learned as a broker after several failed short sales. And I will say that it wasn't totally my fault. If you guys are familiar with Wells Fargo and the $1 billion settlement that took place between 2010 and 2013, you know that they were participating in something called robo-signing. So robo-signing is where homeowners would be doing all this paperwork with their broker, taking all the necessary steps for a short sale, but the bank, it was so many of them, they just didn't have time to look at all the paperwork. So what were they doing? They were having people electronically sign documents. They were signing homeowners' names. They were signing for the bank. I mean, they were doing, like I said, it cost them like $1 billion settlement. I don't know exactly what the number was, but what was happening was they were making those foreclosures appear to be legal, in which they weren't. So in 2013, I actually got the opportunity to work at Wells Fargo on the foreclosure business unit And one of the first trainings that I had was learning the foreclosure timeline. This will help you a lot, guys, because I don't know if you use PropStream. I don't know if you use Realty Track. There's a couple other systems where you can track foreclosures, but there's things that happen in every step of the foreclosure process that makes them easier to track. So let me just pull up my document here, and this is the same document that I'll send you guys if you email me. Let me see, which screen would I go to? I think it's this one. Oh, CD drive. Okay, no, I don't think that's, okay, it's USB. Okay, so let me, now it switched my camera to the, I don't know what you guys can see. It actually flipped I have two screens up. So now it put you guys over here and the document is over here. But you guys just tell me if you can see this.
We just see your list of files.
Okay, so I'm opening up the document now. Okay. Oh wait, I think that's extra. Okay, can you guys see the document that says the North Carolina foreclosure timeline?
No, we still see the list, like you're highlighted on NC foreclosure, so that's
okay. All. Let me stop share, and I'll do this again. Okay, how about now?
Yes, we got it now.
Okay, so I won't go through the first part because I kind of already went through that, but knowing each step of the foreclosure process, it will really help you when going after these types of deals, because each step of this process, a lot of times it triggers something to happen within the court system. So when you use like the PropStream software or Realty Track, these are the stages in the foreclosure that you can literally track, and you can be on top of these before anybody else. So let's look at it. So North Carolina, what lenders must include in a foreclosure referral package. The perfect referral will include a copy of the mortgage note with all endorsement and allonges. It will include a copy of the deed of trust, assignments, a 45-day letter, which is something like the breach and demand letter, but the 45-day letter, it kind of like, it gives them time to get all their paperwork in order, and it's letting them know that the foreclosure is coming. It will have a reinstatement and payoff figure document. This is really important because anytime you start working with a seller, one of the first things you want to do is, if this person really wants to sell their house, one, they shouldn't have a problem doing this, but there's a form that you can get, and I do have this form available, but it's an authorization form. So the first thing you want to do is you want that homeowner to sign the authorization form, because remember, we're investors. We're not just people calling up trying to get somebody's house for pennies on the dollar. We are community investors. We are purchasing these homes and returning them back into their useful life in the real estate market. So you keep that confidence with you that you're coming in to help this person and not just take away from this person. So one of the first things you want to do is to get them to sign an authorization form so that you can call the bank yourself and you can get their reinstatement figures. This is important because you could be doing owner financing where the seller is going to allow you to make payments to them. They're going to continue to make the payments on their mortgage, but you still need to know what those payments are and how much it will take to reinstate. Because typically with the foreclosure process, it should take about 120 days before the bank even sends the first piece of paperwork, right? So you want to be right on top of them, like, okay, hey, how much is it to reinstate your mortgage, right? They could tell you anything. You want to get this number from the bank. Also, when it comes to payoff figures, you want to get this number from the bank, because let's be honest about it. foreclosure is not an easy process at all. It's actually quite embarrassing for homeowners. And a lot of times people don't know where to turn. So you just calling them, you know, like, oh, well, I want to buy your house. I see your payments are behind. Like, you don't know what type of, you know, mental state these people are in. So you really have to approach it in a more helpful way. You want to come at them as an expert, as someone who can help them to make a dignified exit out of the home. Because what happens if they aren't allowed to make a dignified exit? Well, if you guys are familiar with foreclosure, you know the bank does not care how many kids you have, you know, your husband, family situation, whatever. They will move you out on your hospital bed connected to an oxygen tank, right? So when that foreclosure eviction is at the process of the 10-day writ of possession, where the sheriff is now coming to evict you and escort you out, like, that's the most humiliating experience in the world for a homeowner. Remember, they've worked their whole lives and made this is one of the biggest investments that they will make in their life. So you really want to approach them with some type of tact and dignity and let them know, you know, what's going to happen if we don't resolve this for you. You're going to be your family, you and your family, you know, y'all are pretty much going to be evicted. And you can refer them to attorneys and things like that. But end of the day, if you're not paying your mortgage and the house is securing the loan, guess what? They're going to take back what's securing the loan if you're not paying the loan. So I'm going to go through these steps really quickly, but each one of these is how you can really take advantage of foreclosures on like PropStream and other sites. So the first thing that happens is the loan is referred for foreclosure. So the file is received. Okay, this is step one. The reason why you want to catch homeowners in this step is because everything is just now starting. So if you get the authorization signed and you can speak with their bank, you can get the payoff figures, the reinstatement figures, whatever you need. You have way more time than waiting further along in the process. The second thing that happens is the title is ordered by the bank, it's reviewed, the documents are prepared, the notice of default is sent, and the appointment of a substitute trustee is recorded. This is very important. And if you look in the parentheses, this is how many days it takes from the initial referral for this step to happen. So for the substituted trustee, that means that they are 30 days in. Now let's just go back up to the top. Where I have estimated foreclosure timelines. If it's non-contested, it should take 3 to 4 months. And I just said that it takes at least 4 months before the bank even refers them to foreclosure. So within 30 days of the referral, that's after they've been 4 months delinquent, right? So now the substitute of trustee is recorded. This is a court filing, guys, and you can actually look these up at the courthouse. You can literally go to the courthouse records, and it's different for every county. So, you know, don't quote me on this. You would have to look into it for your county. It may take calling the clerk of court. A lot of times I've had to actually call the clerk of court so that I can see, how do I get the information that tells me when they've appointed a substitute trustee? So, and at Wells Fargo, we called that the SOT. That was like the first huge thing in the process. We had to make sure that the substitute of trustee was recorded. Because see, what happens is the trustee, when you do a deed of trust on a mortgage, the trustee is supposed to be like a mutual party that's kind of protecting the buyer's interest and, well, the mortgager's interest and the mortgagee's interest. So at the time when they're getting ready to foreclose, if I'm working with the entity that's foreclosing, then obviously I don't have your best interest at hand, right? So the law has mandated that they substitute the trustee. So it's not going to be the original trustee on the deed of trust. This again signifies a court filing. The second one, and you guys may be a little bit more familiar with this one, but the second one, or the third stage in the process, but this is the second one that causes a court action. The notice of hearing is set and filed with the clerk of Superior Court and served on all interested parties. So the services, excuse me, oh my gosh, that hit me out of nowhere. So the serving of this notice of hearing is done by the sheriff. Again, notice of hearing is something that happens within the court. So you can literally call the clerk of court and you can see, well, how do I get a list of notice of hearings before like they're even publicized? So I don't know how much earlier you can get it, but I know this is something that you can get from the court. So notice of hearing, right? So because in North Carolina, we are a quasi-judicial foreclosure state, that means that part of our foreclosure process is done in the court and part of it is not. So the notice of hearing is normally, let me scroll down to my notes. So let me see, property is allowed by the sheriff as effective service if owners not otherwise located must be posted at least 20 days prior to the hearing date to be valid, right? So again, this is another opportunity for you to get in and find out where these homes are in regards to the foreclosure process, because they have to publicize this notice of hearing 20 days before the hearing date, just in case they weren't able to serve all interested parties, ex-husbands, wives, heirs, anybody who might have a claim to the party. So the hearing is typically before the clerk of Superior Court, and it's obtaining of order of sale from the clerk of court, posting order of sale at the courthouse for 20 days prior to sale, and serving on parties. So publishing notice of sale in county newspaper twice for two consecutive weeks prior to sale is also one of the steps that the bank has to follow. Again, since this is a court filing, if you use software like PropStream and things like that, you can find when they have notifications that actually trigger them to receive these different court filings. So you'll know much earlier in the process than other people who may be going after the property. So after the hearing, because again, they're going before the clerk of court, they're going to submit, the homeowner is going to submit their information and the bank is going to submit their information. And they are going to make a determination as to whether or not the bank should be allowed to proceed with foreclosure, to proceed with the foreclosure process. So step 5, the sale is held and the upset bid period runs 10 days from the last highest bidder. In North Carolina, you guys know that this can go on and on and on for years. So again, you want to be there. The earlier you are in the process, the better chance you have at, you know, whether it's putting that foreclosure in your portfolio or either, you know, doing it as a wholesale deal, which may be a little bit different. So then the last step is that, of course, the deed is recorded after the upset bid period expires, and that normally takes about 120 days. So for North Carolina foreclosure, we are literally looking at 8 months. We're looking at 8 months that you have to take advantage or to get in at any one of these steps in the process. So these timelines are, you know, basically assuming that there's no delays and that, you know, the foreclosure is uncontested and that, you know, the bank has all the necessary documents and everything like that. So for Winston-Salem, there's a site where you can get all of the Forsyth County. I think you get, because I'm not even subscribed anymore because I actually joined PropStream because I needed the data for more than just Forsyth County. But Forsyth County, they have a service that's about $40 a month, where anytime a house is getting ready to come up on foreclosure, if any type of foreclosure filing is done on that property, you can go up there and you can search for it. So PropStream to
I have
me.
a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
I had a couple questions and I got booted off and had to log back in. So if I don't read your question and you'd like it answered, go ahead and send it again.
Okay.
Gregory Page is asking, do you have to force a foreclosure if you win the bid? And I'm not sure what he means. Maybe, Greg, you might want to clarify that. Do you mean, do you have to kick the people out? Because if you win a bid, that means it's at foreclosure. So
Yeah, I think he's talking about once it's at the point if they're doing the foreclosure auction. And if that's the case, then I believe you do. If you win the bid and it doesn't go through any other entity, as the homeowner, you would have to do the eviction, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that is correct. All right, George Marazzo asked if you would repeat the names of those software that you get to get the property detail notifications. I know you said PropStream. I think you might have mentioned another one too.
Yes, PropStream, and I do have a 7-day free trial available for you guys if you want to try PropStream. I mean, you can get a lot of property information with that 7-day trial. And the one for Winston-Salem, I have to check my email. But if Roxana can put my email in the chat, and if you guys would send the email and what you need me to send back, then I can reply with that information.
She actually already put you in your email address in the chat for everyone.
Awesome, awesome. Because remember, we're talking about, we want to take advantage when it comes to foreclosure. The best way to beat out other investors, you want to be in the process long before it reaches the point where things are happening at the court. So with PropStream and Realty Track, a lot of times, like once the person misses, because here's what happens, like your mortgage is due on the 1st, right? After the 1st, it's late. So when you're late, that triggers the bank to do all these things because they have to protect their interest in the property. So once you're late, one of the first things that they might do, they might send me out as a broker to take pictures of your house, which I'm gonna do, very incognito and things like that. So I'm gonna go and get pictures of your house, and I'm gonna look on the MLS, and I'm gonna do a broker price opinion and let the bank know what they're dealing with in case you continue to make late payments and they end up putting you in the foreclosure process. Because a lot of times the bank is banking on this. They know that this is your biggest investment. So if you don't have this set up on auto pay, or you're not paying it on time, that's a signal to them that you are getting ready to become a distressed homeowner. And the bank does not play. So like I said, if your mortgage is 1 day late, I guarantee you, me or somebody from a property preservation team, we've already come by to get pictures of your house. So the earlier you can find a homeowner, that's why it's so good to talk to people. If you can make a Facebook group that's dedicated to distressed homeowners, and just say, I work with a team of investors and we help people to navigate through these processes, whether we buy your house or not, we're here to help you. So you start a group like that. Before somebody even becomes delinquent in their mortgage, they might be reaching out to you like, hey, well, what can I do? Or, what's my options? And then that's your opportunity to make a purchase, or to just help them if they aren't ready to leave the home. Is there any more questions on foreclosure? So I want to go ahead and run through the short sale.
Let's see. Someone doesn't see your email. Roxana, could you put it in again? Because if it was before these people logged in, they might not have seen it. Kanika, Garima, yes, Becca, and Joe say they don't see it. Check your chats. Roxana is going to put her email address in again. That's all we got, Ebony.
Okay, and it's ebony@propertywealthusa.com. And shout out to my little cousin, Kanika. She inboxed me and said she was going to be on the meeting. I actually used to babysit her. She's one of the brightest young women that I've ever known in my life. And so it was such a joy to hear that she's going to be out here in these investing streets. So congrats, Kanika. And I wish you nothing but much love and success in your investing journey. You're definitely with the right organization. So guys, moving right along, foreclosure is the biggest one. Again, learning this timeline, and I'm going to send it to you if you send me your email, but learning this timeline will help you a lot. And also, I have a couple of blogs that are geared towards helping homeowners in foreclosure, because even if you can't buy their house for cheap, or you can't get them to owner finance you their house, you can still be a helpful resource to them, and they will refer other business to you. Okay, so moving right along to the short sale. So the short sale typically is going to happen, and let me know if this document doesn't open up in the share screen. It's opening. Can you guys see it?
No, we still have your other document.
Okay, let me stop share and redo this.
Yeah, I find that I have to do that a lot.
It's aggravating, but no problem. Okay, so the short sale. So remember, guys, when I opened up, we talked about foreclosure, short sale, REO, and auction. So a short sale happens when the homeowner still has time. They still have time to redeem themselves. They still have time to sell the property on their own with the real estate broker. It's way better than waiting until, oh, well, now my house is going up for foreclosure, auction in front of the courthouse, right? It's a little bit too late then to submit a short sale package. But if you can, again, keep a constant open dialogue with homeowners and let them know you have resources for when somebody can't pay their mortgage, or for when they need to move and different things like that, then you can present this to them early on. Now, the good thing about this short sale package, let me explain it to you guys, and I will definitely send you this. Hopefully you can't see any of this lady's information. I went, I took a permanent marker, and I tried to black out any personal information. But this is, even though I was the broker at this nonprofit, Builders of Hope, where that's where I first learned mass acquisitions, we put together this short sale package as the investor. So if you learn how to properly put together a short sale package, you can take advantage of a lot more of these deals. And the good thing about a short sale is that they're listed right on the MLS. So if you're in partnership with a good broker, or you can even use realtor.com. I mean, because you know they have us brokers pay for all this stuff, and then they just give it to y'all for free. So like, you know, where's the what do you call it? Exclusivity? Like, I wish it was back in the day where like I just had a big binder of all the listings, and like y'all had to come see me, or y'all didn't know what was for sale. But see, they didn't change the game, see. But anyway, so yeah, you can find short sales just about anywhere, and typically they're going to be listed. But if you can get that homeowner early enough in the foreclosure process, then you can create a short sale package, and as long as you have all of the correct documentation, you'll never need a broker. So this is an actual package, and it was 2 duplexes in Charlotte, and I think it was like 21 LaSalle, and the other one was like right next door. So 2 duplexes, and I was able to get a $75,000 duplex for $15,000 just by knowing how to put together a short sale package. So let me walk you guys through this deal really, really quick, and then I'll go on to REOs and auctions and where you can find distressed property deals. So the short sale package, oh my gosh, this will make or break you, right? because if it's not complete, the bank is not even going to look at it, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to have that homeowner reach out to their bank, because here's what happens. The way I do a short sale, I go ahead and get it listed, right? Because for me, I want to show the bank that I've tried to market the property. Now, this is coming from me as a broker. You guys won't use that process as an investor, right? But what I want to do is, the first thing I do, I get the property listed so I can show the bank, well, hey, for 60 days, I've had this home on the market. They owe $120,000, and the only offers that I've gotten were for 85, 90,000, and 93,000, right? So I have 3 offers to present to the bank. And not only that, I have 60 days proof showing that I was marketing this on the MLS. That's why you're mainly going to always find short sales and REOs on the MLS, because the bank, they're not playing. They're not going to try to do for sale by owner. They want that listing seen by as many investors in as many areas as possible. So when we put this package together, we certainly did our homework. So what you're looking at now is the list of things that we put in the package. So you want to have a cover letter letting the lender know this is what's here, right? So the first thing we started out with was a document list, right? Then we have a cover letter. Remember that third-party authorization form I talked about? We have that in there, right? Request for mortgage assistance. This is actually old, so your package may or may not need this. And then supporting documentation for the request for mortgage assistance. So the supporting documentation is basically just like the hardship letter. Like, what's the circumstances that happened to where, you know, we gave this person this amount of money for this house, and now they need to sell it, but they need to give us less, right? Because that's ultimately what a short sale is the bank actually accepting less for the property than what they gave you the mortgage for. And banks don't take this lightly, so don't think they're dumb and, you know, they're just gonna go with anything that you send. They use us brokers to actually verify this information, and we're gonna verify a couple of different ways. So for this particular package, we had the death certificate for the lady's spouse, because she had actually moved from California and she lost her husband, and he had like a long bout in the hospital. So, you know, we had all that information in there. We had the information on her primary residence, which she had rented out because she moved to North Carolina. And actually, when she got this particular investment property, the broker who she hired to manage it, they were the reason that, you know, she lost a lot of money on the investment. Like, they weren't collecting the rent. And then when he did collect the rent, he wasn't giving the lady all her money. And, you know, me being as thorough as I am, I ended up, you know, actually fussing the man out and literally had him crying on the phone. Like, you know, why would you do this to this lady? So I ended up getting the lady her rent back, but, you know, she still had to get this asset sold. So we had the mortgage statement, we had her Social Security money, we had her tax return transcript. So a lot of times when you get into distressed properties, people don't want to give you this information, and you don't have to get it from them. You can help them to send it directly to the bank. But if you're asking the bank to take less money, oh yes, like I said, they are going to do their homework. So they're going to want last year's tax return on that seller. And sometimes they want the last 3 tax returns. Then we have our offer package, which was basically the 12-page offer to purchase. We had the Working with Real Estate Agents brochure, because I was making the offer as a broker, even though we were coming from an investment standpoint, if that makes sense. Then we had the unrepresented seller form. So that just means, you know, like if you're a wholesaler or you're looking to get some of these off-market deals, right? But you still need buyer presentation, because if you buy something from a wholesaler, you don't know if their numbers are right or not, right? So you can still hire a broker to be your exclusive representation, and we still make our commission off of the seller. The only thing you do is when you write up your offer, your broker will include what's called an unrepresented seller form. And so you do have the seller to sign this, but the seller is the one who pays your commission. So homes do not have to be listed in order for you to utilize having representation from a broker. And I definitely recommend it these days, because why not? We're going to do everything for free for you up front. We don't get paid until the deal closes. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Proof of funds for a cash offer when you're dealing with a short sale or a foreclosure, you know, pre-foreclosure, you always want to have that proof of funds, because if other investors have come across the property, trust and believe it's an everyday thing for them. They already have that proof of funds ready to go in their offer package. And this was one of the reasons why they hired me at Builders of Hope. I was the junior acquisition analyst. So it was my job to have a package, an offer package, pre-prepared, right? So, and also in there, I had the articles of incorporation. If you're an LLC, you might need to send your operating agreement or show that you're in good standing. You might also need to show that you have signing authority for your LLC. A lot of times, you know, we acquire properties and we take title in our name and we want to move it to an LLC, but the bank is going to require that you be able to show that you can actually sign for that LLC. Recent area sales information. It doesn't matter if you're an investor or a broker. When it comes to the short sale, you're going to want to have recent sales information to show to the bank. Because if you do that, the only thing that they have to do is run it by their team to verify, but they're going to take your information and they're going to use it. So you want to make sure that you're putting together solid information, because when we send our recent area sales, we didn't have a problem at all. The bank didn't challenge them or anything. They went by what we said and they let us actually get the property for the price that we wanted. The last thing up here, photo documentation. This is really important, because if you're asking them to take this low amount of money, you have to show them why. That's it. The bank, they aren't really that hard to get along with. And again, it's not an emotional deal for them, right? So just show them what you're talking about. Have your contractor to go in and say, okay, well, this trash is out here. There's code enforcement fines racked up against the property. And the pictures from this particular package, I don't think I have them up here, but the pictures were horrible. The pictures were horrible. And then the other key thing is your preliminary HUD, right? So the preliminary HUD is where you go to your closing attorney and you ask for a preliminary HUD. You tell them, hey, I'm about to close this property with the bank. I got to show the bank what they're going to net. Can you do a preliminary HUD? Most closing attorneys, I've never in my life had a problem with the closing attorney giving me a preliminary HUD or preliminary title. Now, preliminary title is not as important in a short sale or a foreclosure because the bank has just done that. But when it comes to auction properties, you definitely want your closing attorney to do preliminary title, or you want to go to a company like afx.com and you want to order like $150 title search, and it's gonna give you like way more. It's gonna give you like a stat like this, probably a lot more than you are prepared for. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And off the back of that, let me just read this letter for you guys. So this was the letter that I sent to the bank. To whom it may concern, I am Ebony Blount, the short sale specialist here at Builders of Hope in Raleigh, NC. We recently found a wholesaler trying to assist Miss So-and-so, the borrower, for the property located at LaSalle Street and getting the property sold. After hearing about our short sale program, she was referred to our agency. We have interest in this property because we have rehabbed several properties on LaSalle Street. The area is low income, high food stamp rate, and low education. There were a lot of subprime loans made in this area, and the investors and owners, not knowing what to do, have walked away from these properties, causing them to further deteriorate, destroying the hard work we have already done to preserve this community and continue to provide affordable housing. Our goal is to purchase this property through short sale, relieving the homeowner of the burdensome ownership of this property. Miss So-and-so located to NC from California to save her job, then lost her husband in the blank of last year after a long battle with his illness. Her husband was the only family she had here in NC. She missed a lot of work caring for her husband, and she was out of work for 6 months following his death. Also, she also hired an agent who did not protect her best interest. He withheld several months of rent for repairs he never completed. He also never rented the back unit out as he promised. Remember, this was a duplex. The property is in need of a great deal of work as documented by the photos. You cannot tell the bank that nothing is wrong with the house unless you have the photos. So then I went on to say, Builders of Hope has applied for subsidy funds from the city to complete the estimated $80,000 rehab needed to address all code violations and rehab the property back to a dignified living condition. Please escalate this case, as squatters have already taken over the back unit and are causing even more problems with drugs and prostitution. I don't know if you could, because I kind of got twisted on my words a little bit, but it was short and sweet and straight to the point. You're telling them why the borrower couldn't pay. You're telling them what's going on with the property and, you know, why you would like to purchase it as a short sale. So this is definitely a package and a letter that you can use and make it your own, so that, you know, you can go after more short sales, whether they're listed on the MLS or not. And remember, a short sale is not just the homeowner wanting to give the bank less than what's required for payoff. It's actually, you know, the property is upside down, so they have to give less, right? So if the bank, if they do a broker price opinion or something like that, and it shows that the area is selling for a lot more than what you're claiming, then no, they won't do a short sale. So a short sale is all about doing your research up front and painting the best picture possible, giving the bank all the details, showing them why this homeowner needs to give them less for the payoff than what they actually loaned them for the mortgage. Were there any short sale questions in the chat? I know that was
No questions.
fast, but I will send you guys this letter again if you email me. So that takes me to REOs and auctions. Auctions, I won't spend that much time on. I will tell you, is the lowest of the low. By the time it gets to auction, every investor in the world already knows about it. So you're going to be competing with a lot more sharks in the water for the same piece of meat. Can you take advantage of auction properties? For sure. You just need to, one, have a team and be very knowledgeable about the area, because sometimes when it comes to an auction, you have to purchase sight unseen, or, and this is illegal, but back when I was at Builders of Hope, it was like an unspoken thing that the back door would be left open so that you could get in to see the property before auction. You guys did not hear this from me. I don't even care if y'all haven't recorded. I will, you know, I will deny it to the fullest that I ever said that. But yeah, that's one of the biggest takeaways with auction properties. You may have to purchase sight unseen, which you can circumvent that by, one, doing a title search up front, and then two, sending a contractor out or either talking to the neighbors, just seeing if it's any possible way that you can get a look at the inside before you place your offer. And the top auction sites, you guys probably already know, but it's auction.com. If somebody can put that in the chat. Hubzu, excuse me, which is HUBZU. Hubzu, that's one of the big auction sites that we use.
We actually, auction.com is one of our vendor members, and Tim Johnson is actually in our meeting tonight, who works for auction.com.
Oh, wow. That
He's
is
he's our
awesome.
local rep.
Okay, so that's awesome. So, you know, with auction.com, they're going to give you like the premium. They're going to tell you how much you need to put down with your bid. They're going to tell you how long you have to pay the property off and all that. So you guys already have auction.com here, so I won't go any further on that. I gave you my top 2 auction sites that we use. Another good thing about auctions is that if you are a wholesaler, oh my God, when you go to an auction and you look for those nerdy guys with the clipboard and, you know, they already have their checks printed out and stuff like that, like those are cash buyers that you can actually link up with just by going to auctions. So I always send my students to auctions, and when they go, they always come back with a different story to tell, whether they met a cash buyer or, you know, they met somebody that they just plan to network with. So huge opportunity there. And then the last thing, of course, guys, is REO. So REO is quite simple because one, a bank is not, they're not going to go and put a for sale by owner sign out in the yard. They are going to assign it to somebody like me who is an REO broker. And I have a complete presentation on this, and what I might have to do is just email it to you guys because I know I don't have time to go through it. But from the buyer standpoint, let me just give you a couple of key things on purchasing REOs. And also I have a YouTube video on this. If you check out Overnight Investor on YouTube, and it was just a way for me to be able to give 24 hours of free investor education. So no, I'm not selling anything up there or anything like that. It's totally information to benefit you. So, and I think the name of that video is like, I think it's called Foreclosure, Short Sales, REOs, and Auctions. But anyway, some real good information in that video. But let me see. The main thing that you need to know as far as working with REOs, typically people don't understand that they are time sensitive. So when the bank gives me an REO, they expect me to sell it within at least 60 days. If I can't do that, they're either going to transfer it to another agent or they're going to put it up for auction. So REOs are time sensitive. They're almost always listed on the MLS. So if you're an investor and you're looking to take advantage of some distressed properties, the MLS should be like 7 o'clock in the morning. It should be the first thing you do before you go to work. You should be combing through your MLS search that was sent by your broker, and you should be looking for REOs, bank-owned properties, whatever you want to call it, right? Because once they're on the MLS, yeah, every investor does have access to them, but they might not have the inside information that you would have on the area, or, you know, that your broker would have on the area. So you want to be on the MLS every single morning looking for these deals. Not only that, you want to be ready to pull the trigger. So that's where preparing your offer comes into play. And I do have an offer calculator that I can send you guys for free. I actually created it for my students, but it's just a way where you can kind of plug a couple of numbers in and you can come up with an offer just so that you can get your offer package sent. Now, of course, you will have due diligence. You will have a time frame where you can verify all of this information to make sure your offer. Ooh, am I dying? Oh, okay. I was about to say my battery should be. Okay, can you guys see me? Hello?
We can see you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, good.
just making sure. Now I lost my train of thought because my screen went black and it scared me. But why is it? Bruh. Computer, why are you doing this? Really?
Now we have a black screen with
I don't.
bar at the top.
Is it
We
because
still
I'm
see you though in the picture.
Yep.
I see like I'm frozen in like this weird. Okay. I don't know, like I'm totally frozen like in space. I don't know why. But anyway, just to finish up with REOs, the main thing is knowing that it's time sensitive. You're going to want to do your numbers up front. So it's best to either hire a broker to do a broker price opinion, or you can use the PropStream software and it'll pretty much give you some comps that will help you in making your offer. And it's not a lot that goes into that, but the more you do it, the more you look at properties to try to determine their value from the pictures, you'll be a lot better off at that. And I can actually just send you guys the whole REO presentation, because I just go a little bit more in detail about what it takes to actually bid on the REO. And it's just like any other property. You just want to make sure that your numbers make sense, or your offer is going to get, you know, pretty much denied. And a lot of areas in North Carolina, we actually have a low supply, like in the Triad and in the Triangle market. A lot of areas have less than a 2-month supply, and some of those areas are now at like a 1.5-month supply. So, you know, the absorption rate detrimentally affects what you can get in the market. So knowing that the supply is low, they're not going to take a low ball offer. What's happening is that you're seeing that people are having to pay over asking price. So doing your research and understanding that it's a time sensitive process, and being able to properly supply comps to support your offer, that's like the main thing that you need to know to win with REOs. But again, on my YouTube channel, Overnight Investor, I go through all of this in a little bit more detail. I think it's like a 13-minute video. So I think that wraps up everything that I have on foreclosures, short sales, REOs, and auctions. I'm happy to take more questions in the chat. And again, you guys have my email. So whatever it was in this presentation that you would like for me to send to you, I will get it sent within the next 24 hours.
If you have any more questions for us, put them in the chat. Roxanne, are you still with us? No, I don't know, y'all. There's something weird going on tonight. Every single one of us has gotten kicked off at least once. I don't know what the deal is, and I don't know if Roxanne is still here to wrap up our meeting. Let me see.
Yeah, I think it's trying to kick me off.
Yeah, I got kicked off. Leslie got kicked off. Jackie got kicked off. It's really weird. Anyway,
Roxanna's back now. I see her.
Roxanne, she's gonna need me to unmute her, but I can't find her.
And I am frozen, looking like a psycho.
I don't think she's here. Oh, there she is. All right. I'm fixing you up, Roxanna.
Hey, you guys, thank you so much for joining. One of the things I want to make sure that I do point out, I know a lot of you guys hear about so many different softwares. On our next meeting, we actually going to have one of the co-owners from PropStream come in and give us the insight on. So it does go actually hand in hand what Miss Ebony just shared with us. As she's mentioned, email her at ebony@propertywealthusa.com. So she can give you guys this PowerPoint presentation with the breakdown on how to do these REO properties. The REO properties are game changers, and I know this is probably an overload from what she went over all at once. But feel free, if you're confused at this moment while we still have her attention, ask questions, stand up right now, shake it off, and let's take in some of these gems that she's dropping right now.
I'm telling you what, there are no questions, and I've got to say, because it might be because that was one of the most cohesive presentations I've ever seen on short sales. I mean, we had people at our main meeting who didn't break it down as clearly as you did, Ebony. That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Awesome. You're welcome.
And we will
guys,
have Ebony on again in the near future. So you guys definitely say hello to her, and make sure you asking questions. But she's definitely have a lot of knowledge, and we can definitely utilize her if you're trying to do a short sale or anything. So
Ebony, I hope you'll join us again. That was a really great presentation. Thank you so much.
yes,
Yes,
and you guys also y'all handle a lot of the searches for the foreclosures in your office.
Yep, we can do what she referred to, those short searches, pre-searches. We can do those for you, and we do them for a lot less than 150 bucks if it's just a foreclosure search. We do them probably
And I
like.
do want to make record of that for some of you guys that's online, because I see it's quite a few of you guys. So some of you guys, what you don't know, what Ebony mentioned, a lot of times when these houses is downtown and you bidding on it, you usually have a short time span. And one of the biggest thing that she dropped is you kind of already want to have a little research done. Just because you won that bid, that doesn't mean you're clearing up all of those liens on those houses. And you want to have somebody like Kathy as a resource where they can actually do a quick search so you'll know what you're getting into, because those liens needs to be cleared.
Yeah, and for those, that's not a full title search. So we do them for like 50 bucks just for the pre-foreclosure searches. So definitely give us a call. Again, thank you, Ebony. Thank you, Roxana, for bringing us such a great meeting. And thank you all for being here. Have a great night.
thanks you guys.
We'll put the recording on the website, so it was a lot of information, but you can go back and check in a couple of days.
Yeah, and if you guys aren't sure how to access that, you go to TREIA.com, go to the calendar, click on the meeting that you want to see. It'll be X'd out because it's over, but click on it anyway and scroll down, and the recording will be there, and you can do that for any meeting. We record most of them. Thank you.
Until next
Thanks,
time.
everyone.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye.